There's a stunning new twist to the hostage drama that ended this week when U.S. Special Operations Forces rescued an American woman and a Danish man from pirates in Somalia. As the former hostages recuperate at a U.S. base in Italy right now, our own Brian Todd has been learning more about the events that led to their capture. Brian, what are you learning?
Wolf, we've been told by the head of security for that Danish relief group that this kidnapping was an inside job. Chilling video from the hostage takers. After their capture, guns pointed toward their heads. American aid worker Jessica Buchanan and her colleague Paul Teestead offer proof of life.
Paul and myself, Jessica, we are safe and we are alive.
Alive and apparently betrayed. CNN has new information that at the time they were kidnapped in Somalia in October, Buchanan and Teestead had a security detail of up to 8 police officers. They were from what's called the Special Protection Unit, affiliated with local Somali authorities. CNN is told the lead police officer was compromised, paid by the kidnappers to abduct Buchanan and Teestead. We learned that from Frederick Paulson, head of security for Buchanan's aid group, the Danish Refugee Council.
One of the guards, he had sold out, and he had as a mission to capture expatriates. And he had exchanged some of the ordinary SBU guards that we normally utilize into guards that were they were not a part of the outfit.
Paulson says the kidnapping unfolded quickly as the aid workers were to change vehicles, crossing between territories controlled by different clans. He says Buchanan and Teestead were quickly thrown into a vehicle and driven away. I pressed Paulson on the compromised officer.
Do you think you made mistakes? And if so, what mistakes did you make in screening him?
No, I cannot tell you that we did mistakes. I think that we did. We hired the right person with the information we had at the time. I think that his greed for money or that have come later.
Paulson says he's been working security in that region for years, that his group had built trust with local Somali officials, and there'd been no threatening incidents before this. He says that corrupt police commander has disappeared. Paulson says he doesn't know who paid the officer or how much. He says his group, like other aid organizations, has little choice but to hire locals for security. Norm Sheehan, who's worked in Somalia with aid groups, says local leaders often require that. As for bringing in Western security teams,
if you bring in a protection force with you, they might as well bring the body bags with them. They will be targeted.
Gary Oliver, head of a security firm that's worked in that region, says outsiders have to get to know local tribal leaders and watch those they hire.
People get to know how people are. When he came into work that morning, how did he look? Was he worried? Was he nervous? No, was there strange people in that detail that you'd never seen before? There's a number of telltale signs that you should be able to recognise.
We pressed Frederick Paulson, head of the Danish aid group's security, on whether the other guards in that detail were in on the plot, whether they resisted, if they ran away. He says that is not clear. Contacted by CNN, Somalia's ambassador to the UN said the transitional federal government there has no control over the police in that region. But he says his government will press local authorities for answers. Wolf?
Brian, did this security chief tell you anything more about how his group vetted this particular police commander?
He did. He said they used the same methods they do when vetting all police hires there. They went to the police station to check on any concerns about that officer. They did background checks, found out which family, which clan he came from, whether he or anyone in his clan had conflicts with other clans in the area. In Paulson's words, this police commander, quote, fit the profile very well when they hired him. They don't know